Hey, it's time to dish with D. That's me. Which way is the toe? I think this is the toe. Sorry, new gloves. New glove dilemma. Don't know which side is which. I'm assuming that this is, never mind, you don't even know that. You're like, D, just put your stinking gloves on. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Today, what are we talking about today? Let's first take a moment of silence about yesterday. It was horrific, uncalled for, and certainly unnecessary. Okay. I was asked to vlog about fit points. Now, I'm putting it out there. I don't know everything there is to know about fit points. As you can see, I'm not a very fit person. I mean, yeah, I'm a goal, but that doesn't mean I'm like in the best. I'm in decent shape. You know, I could got some good endurance these days. But this was what I was always told by my leader about fit points. We actually could add them in according to the app and stuff like that. But she claims, I don't know how true this is, that unless you're hardcore training, you don't eat them. Now, I do earn fit points. Funny that I do earn fit points for my little, my Leslie Sandstone and get my steps in. I do earn fit points. I don't eat them. No. I really don't train that hard. I don't feel, I'm burning calories, obviously, but I'm not at a high rate that I feel like I would indulge in my fit points. Now, if you're sitting there doing hardcore, intense cardio, maybe you could. I know I can't, because I said I am not training that hardcore, so that would be really, and honestly, I don't need them. I really don't. I really have to say that I'm comfortable at the clip of points that I get and the weeklies and how I maneuver food, because if you watch my channel and see my recipes, I do play with points a lot. I kind of on the edge of 0 points, I kind of hitting that edge, and it works for me. So I don't need to look for more points, so I'm really good that way. But if you're really intensely working out and you're burning a crap ton of calories and sweating like a pig, I would definitely see what happens if you use them. You could use them. I think, and I don't know this again because I don't use them, so I don't really know much about them. I think you could opt to use them before weeklies. I think, but I'm not 100% sure. Or you know what? If it's not like that, if you just put things down, you can use whatever points you want in the order that you want, because you just can have it all down on a piece of paper. So the world is your oyster. The world is your oyster. And I think, when you're doing some hardcore workout, you definitely need more points. You definitely need to, if you're, because look at, here's what I like to compare it to. Me, who doesn't really work out properly. I don't consider what I do working out. I really don't. I get some steps in. I do a Leslie Sandstone 1 mile, so I'm eating points. So imagine if you're burning way more, you need to eat more. You just do. Because if you don't, then I think you're at a deficit. And I don't know. I know it's calories in, calories out, but I don't know how your body reacts when you've really put through this, burn these super amount of calories and you're not eating. It reminds me back in the 80s when I was growing up, with all the stories about the people that were starving themselves, and that's what they did. They didn't eat, and they worked out like fiends. So I don't know. It still applies today. We just might not see it as prevalent as back then. It was like an 80s disease, like anorexia and bulimia. You don't hear about it anymore, but it still exists. I'm sure people are still starving themselves and working. You would see dancers, especially, they wouldn't eat, and they're working out and doing their routine and think about all the calories they're burning, and they're not eating. Didn't work then, it's probably not gonna work now. So, but there are some people that they just get it in their head. It's funny because you go from this having a weight issue to not being able to eat. I haven't come to that yet. I haven't turned down food quite yet. So I don't know if I'll ever be there. I don't ever want to be there. Like I said, that's why it's like, I have a video, if I remember to link it here, it's called Realistic Goals. You know, like, I think we all get to choose where we want to be in our journey. I don't think it should be Weight Watchers' decision where we should be, but they're going to hold the card where, well, we'll give you free tools if you meet our goals. You know what, let me tell you something. There's a lot of free apps out there. You don't really need WW free tools. You don't. I mean, it's nice saying you're a Weight Watchers lifetime member, you know, and you have free e-tools, but it ain't the be-all end-all. You know, sometimes your happiness comes a little bit before, and your sanity comes a little bit before free e-tools. So yeah, so if it got to the point where this weight that you know we finally agreed on, I mean, it's been a struggle. I mean, I'm always hovering around it. I do not go very low before. I think the most I was under goal was probably 156, maybe 3 pounds. I was maybe at 152 and a half, 3.5 pounds. That was the lowest I've ever gotten. And I'm telling you something, I was not a happy girl. No sorry, Bob. And like I said in all my videos, life's too short to be miserable. What do I have to prove to people? I don't need to prove anything to anybody, and neither do you. You don't have to prove that, you know, oh, look what I did. I lost, you know, you know what? I've gotten to the best shape in my life. I'm done. I don't need to be anything that's going to stress me out. Why? Why? That's the why. That's the why we should be asking ourselves. Why are we doing this? Why would we put ourselves through that? For what? What are you going to get in the end? Nothing. You're going to sit there unhappy, miserable. Life's too short to be miserable. I like to enjoy what little time we have left, because it seems like it's shorter and shorter these days. So yeah, I am here for enjoying the rest of the time that I have on this planet and not being miserable and deprived. I hate the feeling of like deprived, where you're sitting there watching something that you want. I'm not sitting there saying you should eat it, but you could have a piece, a small little taste. But some people, they won't even allow that, because I get, because sometimes the taste leads to binging when you don't have any. That's been my experience. If I sit there and say no, and then yeah, the one time I'm just going to say, give it to me, and I'm just going to swallow it whole and not even remember what it tastes like. Did you ever do something? Did you ever eat something and didn't remember what it tasted like? Because you just scarfed it down? I told my son this. He's a scarfer. He's a boy, though. I said, slow down, chew your food, and think of all the flavors that you have. You know, think about it. Don't sit there and just, I said, sit, savor each bite. And he actually said, you know, it was kind of good. I said, well, yeah, you have to have a moment with your food, especially some of these really decadent things. You know, you just gotta have a moment with it and just sit there and chew it slowly and let those flavors go over all your taste buds. Because if you swallow them too fast, you miss your taste buds. Proven fact. So you want to sit there and let them linger on your palate. Just have a moment with your food. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. But, you know, I know a lot of people were stressing yesterday with what happened and turning to food. And I just tried to reiterate that food isn't going to help. If it did, I'd eat. If I thought food would help something, I would definitely eat. I hear something. Where is it? Do you hear like sirens, but you don't know where they're coming from? I hate that, because I don't know where they're at. They're not behind me. They're not in front of me. They must be coming from that way. Drives you nuts. But yeah, if I thought eating would help anything, I certainly would scarf down a meal. I'd go over my points in a heartbeat. But I know it wouldn't. All it's going to do is going to stress me out more, because now I'm over points, and now I have to watch the rest of the stinking week because I overate. So yeah, I learned that back in the beginning of the pandemic. I did. I learned that, as crazy as it was, eating wasn't going to help anything. Nope. If I thought eating would cure COVID, I'd be the first one to gain 100 pounds back. Sure I would. But I know it's not. It's not going to do anything. It's going to make me more upset, more depressed, more sad, more crazy, because now I've placked on all this poundage and we're still in the shitter. We are. So I know it's a hard thing, because I know a lot of us turn to food for comfort. But what I want to say is, I know it's hard. I want to like wave a magic wand and say, poof, you don't need to do that anymore. But I can't. You have to find something, a way to direct that energy. I don't stress eat. That's my problem. I don't eat out of sadness. I eat out of joy. I'm a joyful eater. That's always been my thing. If I'm under stress or I'm sad, I usually don't eat. It's just I don't have a taste for food. But that's me. I know there's a lot of stress eaters out there. I guess what I'm want to direct you to, maybe to direct that energy somewhere. Like maybe start decluttering, clean out a drawer. I've often said that. Like I was doing that for a while when I was bored. I'm a bored eater though, that I am. When I'm bored, instead of going to eat a snack, I should go clean out one of the drawers in my kitchen. Clean out my sock drawer. Underwear drawer always needs attention. And organize something. Try to, organize my desk. Organize my little thing that I keep my YouTube stuff in. Organize my planner. Put stickers in it for next week. I mean, do something that brings you joy. I like to, you're gonna laugh, I like to play online Facebook games, like Farmville. I'm into this one game. It's not a Facebook game. It is it's an app. It looks like it has remember the crane game? All things are inside the thing. Well, this is like that. There's all these things mixed up, and it'll give me, I have to match 2 of each item and pull it out of the bin under a time limit, and there's probably about 40 things you have to match. It's like you find an orange, you find the other orange. There's a chair, you have to find the other chair. Oh my God, that'll suck my time out like you wouldn't believe. I don't know, I just find it fun. I like video games. I know, I'm a child. I used to farm. My leader one time said, what do you do to occupy yourself? I said, I farm. It should be because you farm. I said, yeah, I'm a Farmville. I have a farm. I said, I have trees I have to take the fruit off of. I have plants I have to pick. I have food to make for the bake shop. And she just looked at me like I had 8 heads. Let me tell you something. All that took me about an hour to do all that. So there's an hour of my time that I wasn't sitting there petering around the kitchen. I'm farming. I know. After you're done laughing, I know. But you know what? It's something that occupied me. It did. It got my mind off of food, kept my hands busy, and it was fun. Sometimes you just gotta find something a little bit light. Sometimes everything we do is so intensely heavy in pressure, like watching the news. I haven't watched the news since the summertime, honestly. I couldn't put it on. I know things are bad. I'm not gonna sit there. I just don't need to hear it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't. It's just too depressing. My husband keeps me updated. Anything I need to know. I do not watch the news at all. It's way too tough. I farm. You know what? Especially when you're out there working and I'm here at school and it's tough and all this distancing and keeping, I'm only here 4 hours, but man, that's a stressful 4 hours. So when I go home, I don't need to hear the news. I don't need to worry about my points. I just need to relax, live in the moment, enjoy the food I'm eating, and not stress over it. Because life's too short to stress over. I say this all the time. If we haven't seen that, life's too short. Do not stress over a sandwich. Do not stress over a sandwich. And that's, put it in perspective. It's just a sandwich. It's not going to kill you. It's just a sandwich. So don't be stressing over your food. Enjoy the food you're eating. Make good stuff. Make good choices. Do the best you can. You're not always going to be perfect. And you know what? Life doesn't always have to be perfect. I tell it to my kids all the time. Life sucks most of the time. Learn that early. Life's not always pretty roses and everything. Sometimes it's ugly and it's disgusting and it's mean. Learn how to deal with it. Not everything is going to be great in the world. It just isn't. But you know what? That's how you deal. And I think they're good that way because life stinks. I hope you enjoyed this video. On that note, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, there's a subscribe button. I'd love to have you along. Bye.